This is Toss Talk, where it's all about yard games, having fun, and what it takes to create social entertainment. With your host and creator, Kelvin, on Toss Tunes Radio.
Hey, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Toss Talk. And today we are playing Quartersback. This is a fun tabletop game coming out of Maine. I have the creator on the line chatting about how he got it started. And I just think that this game is just really cool how it just mixes elements from cornhole, can jam, dice, quarters. It really is an ultimate party game. So check them out. Quartersback. Links are in the show notes. Let's get into this chat.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? It's Kelvin.
Hey, Calvin. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Can't complain.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad we got a chance to get this in.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate you taking the time out to do it. So,
of course, man. I've been checking out your game, just basically on Instagram and your website, and it looks like a lot of fun, man. Glad you created something like that.
Yeah, we've been super excited about it ever since we started it, and we're excited to see kind of where it goes. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a blast. Everyone we bring it to, they always have a good time. So we're excited about it.
That's good, man. Well, let's get right into it. Where are you from, and who's all in the business with you?
Yeah, so I'm from Maine. Currently, the only people in the business is me and my wife.
Nice.
Yeah, we kind of do everything right here from our house in Maine.
Nice. I like that. Definitely entrepreneurial style, just basically on your own.
Absolutely.
So actually, how'd you actually come up with the name Quartersback? I mean, it's kind of simple, but like diving into it, what was the meaning behind it?
Yeah, so the basic concept behind the game was we were just always a big fan of party games in college, and we're also we have a little woodworking business on the side where we kind of do crafts.
Yeah.
And one winter, because it's cold in Maine, about 6 months out of the year, we wanted to try to see if we could build a miniature cornhole board to kind of play indoors. So we built it, and we ended up creating a couple more holes, and then we brought it over to a friend's house and just started playing and incorporating games that we loved playing in college. And then just naturally during the game, we started using quarters, and constantly rules of the game, you would constantly get quarters back, depending on if you made it or if it hit the ground. And it just became something that we always used to shout when it would happen, and we would just yell quarters back, and that just kind of developed into the name of the game.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just kind of naturally decided to create this game, like out of
So we just out of nowhere, really. We love doing crafts out of wood. So we would make cornhole boards for people, and we just started to make something similar to a cornhole board, but we made a miniature size, and then we just slowly started incorporating rules from other games that we had played. And as time went on, we would bring it everywhere we went, and everyone would kind of add in their own rules. And then eventually it just became so popular that we thought we maybe have something here, and we just started to steal rules from other games to kind of incorporate it all into one and made the rules official, and then we kind of hit the ground rolling from there.
Nice. I like that. I do like a good like mashup of games, creating like a new game. And in college, that's like the perfect environment to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, it was good to kind of take ideas from other people when we initially started, to kind of pull what was popular and what people liked from certain part of the games, and try to mash it all up into one. So that's what made us excited originally when we made this game, is it was kind of incorporated from close friends of ours and family that played, and it was all kind of our own game together. So
Very cool. So what was actually like the original game that you guys were playing before you guys kind of turned it into that? Was it just like cornhole? Because I see like
Yeah,
there's like dice in there, and there's like a little bit of other games kind of mixed in.
yeah. So we originally are big fans of cornhole, and it's hard to, obviously, when there's snow on the ground and it's cold up in Maine for most of the year. It's hard to get outside or have a space big enough to play
Yeah.
cornhole. So we thought, well, let's try to make a miniature size, and we built the boards same design concept as a cornhole board, but we just made them small so that they
Yep.
could fit on a tabletop. And then we drilled a similar hole at the top that was going to be originally for mini bean bags, which we were going to create.
Okay.
Um, but I just decided to start drilling a bunch of other holes, and I drilled a small hole, and I thought, my wife was like, well, maybe we could fit a quarter in that, because it was obviously a lot smaller than the rest. And when I tested it, it was just barely big enough for the size of a quarter. And we thought, playing the game, this will never happen, that this quarter would go into this small hole that's just
Yeah.
barely big enough. And that first time it happened, I mean, the whole room got excited. And we knew at that moment, okay, maybe we do have something here. And it would just continue to happen. And that was my favorite part of the game, is seeing people's reaction when
Yeah.
they actually made it in that center hole, because it really looks impossible. When you have
Yeah.
a small quarter throwing from 6 to 8 feet, you think there's no way it's going to go in this little hole. But when it did, it was just, it made people addicted after that, or they wanted to continue playing until they made it. So
Okay. Oh, I
yeah,
love that. Yeah, just watching the videos, I was just like, oh yeah, I wonder how many times it gets in that tiny hole for an instant
yeah,
win. That's awesome.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we started incorporating rules from die, that we played
Yes.
a lot in college, where you had to catch the dice before it hit the
Yes,
ground. So we
yes.
started incorporating that with the quarter, and that became, obviously, that became a popular part of the game too, because everyone's involved. You're not just kind of standing there waiting for someone else to throw. You have an offense and a defense. So it just incorporated a bunch of games together that we seem to enjoy.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's really cool. I like how you guys kind of incorporate it all together, and it just from looking at it, it makes sense. And a lot of these games are like very popular now, especially since like back in your day with the college and people growing up now and still wanting to play these games. Like just seeing it right away, I'm like, oh yes, I already see everything involved. I want to play this.
Yeah.
Um, so, can you just do a quick little rundown of the rules and like how you play?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so like I had said, the boards are built similar to a cornhole board concept. So it's just picture a cornhole board, but just miniature size, and you have one on either side of the table. There's three bigger size holes, one at the top, two at the bottom. The tops are worth two, the bottoms are worth one, and then there is also a center hole that is just bigger than the quarter. And basically, you take turns. Um, One team starts on offense, the other one starts on defense. Everyone on offense starts with a quarter. You throw the quarter down one at a time, trying to aim for one of the various holes. And depending on which one you make, that's what you get for points. And if you make the center hole at all during the game, it's an automatic win. So that gives basically anyone a chance to win at any time. And then we also have the defensive rules. So if I throw a quarter down and it hits any part of the board, the other team has to catch it before it hits the ground. And if it hits the ground, the other team gets it back to throw it again. And then we just play to 21. So that's the basic rules. You also, if you make it in a pocket, you can also guess if it's showing heads or tails
Yep.
in the pocket. If you guess correctly, then you get the quarterback to throw again. So it's just a fun game. The best
Nice.
part about it too is you can play literally as many people as you want. Sometimes we've had up to 6-on-6. We had a game of 10-on-10, or you can just play 1-on-1, because all it takes is the offensive team just needs that many quarters. Everyone has their own quarters, so it,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So you don't have to play just with your traditional 2-on-2 for most of these games, long games. You can play a 6-on-6 as long as everyone on one side has a quarter. They each just take their turn throwing, and you just continue to play. And it actually gets fun with bigger groups, because you get people surrounding the table, and and some people are trying to work together on how to catch
Yeah.
the quarter, and it's a lot of fun, and no one has to sit and wait. And yeah, so that was one thing that we loved, is being able to have the whole party or have everyone that's involved play at one time and not have to sit out and just watch.
I really like that. I didn't read that part. That's very cool. Yeah, having everybody being able to play and throw a quarter, like I'm sure it just keeps the game going, keeps everybody involved, and teams start trying to make strategies. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what version are you on from like the original concept from when you started?
Yeah, so we're probably on version probably 3 at this point. We had originally started with much bigger pieces of 2x4 to make the game, but it was just really big and bulky. And then we started to slowly slim down on the wood and try to figure out the kind of the best angle for the quarter to hit off the boards without making it too difficult.
Okay.
And then now we're able to, we had an initial order kind of manufactured for us as far as the boards go, and they were able to tweak it a little bit more with the angle of the legs and everything to kind of make sure that it was sturdy, and it allowed the quarter to bounce off it, because depending on the type of wood, some quarters bounce, depending on if it's a hardwood or a softwood, they bounce differently on each set of wood. So doing that process to figure out what's best for the game, and we're kind of happy where we're at right now, as far as the design of the game itself. Still got some work to do, but we're still kind of in the initial stages as well.
Okay. Nice, nice. Yeah, it is kind of crazy when you're creating something. It's just like you have that vision in your mind, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to get the angle right for the quarter for it to make sense. Like,
yeah, you would think. And I remember comparing different types of wood and what angle works best, and it's just like you didn't think that much would go into creating something so easy at the end of the day, really.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about the different type of woods you could use too. That's interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, and we tried plastic at some point, but it just bounced differently. And there's obviously a chance in the future to go with something a little bit more lighter, a little bit easier to manufacture. But we're just happy with where we're at right now, and just doing our best to try to spread the word.
Very cool, man. Where are you getting manufactured?
Yeah, so we had an initial order manufactured for us from a company in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I don't believe they are in company anymore, but that was probably 2 or 3 years ago for our initial order, and that was just the boards themselves. But currently, me and my wife kind of do everything. So we vinyl, we make the nets, we put the nets on, we package, and we ship. So we're basically doing everything in-house except for that initial built of the board. So that's kind of where we're at. It's a process. Obviously, COVID was an issue for everyone.
Yes.
With processes and making sure how to get it out there, and manufacturers, and just the timeline of getting the company in front of people, getting the game in front of people was kind of shut down, because this is a type of game where you need to play to kind of get an idea of how fun it is. And if you can't play it and you can't go anywhere to play with anyone, then it gets a little tough. So, and I'm sure, everyone was hit by it.
Yeah, a lot of speaking with a lot of people and getting out the games and everything, it is like you have to play it to really see the fun of it. And I think that's a tough part with everybody trying to just market their game, because it could look fun, but until you are actually played it at a party or some friend had it, that's when you get people hooked on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how long exactly have you been in business or been out on the market?
Yeah, so we did a kickstart probably 3 years ago to try to raise a little money for our initial order, and then shortly after that, when we went live, we were actually invited down to New York to present in front of Barstool Sports, which was
cool.
A huge opportunity for us. They were running a show that was similar to Shark Tank, and we were one of the companies that were invited. And so we went down and did a little presentation in front of Portnoy and a couple others, and able to show them kind of where we're at, but we were so early on in the stage that it was a great experience for sure. It was great for our company.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a fit at that time, which was totally fine with us. We were more there to just kind of spread the word and be on a pretty big platform, as Barstool is one of the biggest ones out there.
Huge.
So that was great for our initial startup. And then we had a family started. We had a little girl. Yeah, which was kind of our world after she was born, and then COVID hit right after.
Man.
It was probably 2.5 years or so where we were kind of slowing things down because we had other things that we were worried about or more important in our lives at the time. And now that the little one is starting to grow up a little bit, and we have a little bit more time, and it seems like maybe we're going back towards normal life, hopefully, we're able to kind of start pushing things a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds like a lot going on just in your first couple of years of starting, but I like to see that you are on a good track right now, and things are on the up and up because the game looks good. The social media is looking good. So
thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. We'll be right back after this short break. Hey, have you heard of giant Pong basketball? Yes, even basketball has its own backyard game. It is truly amazing. And this company has even put together its own virtual yard game competition featuring, giant Pong basketball. It is very cool to see all these players compete in the 60-second challenge. And our listeners today will receive 10% off their purchase of a giant basketball set using promo code TOSSYARD. That is promo code TOSSYARD. Links are in the show notes. Check it out. If you enjoy basketball, you'll enjoy this game. All right, so welcome back. Let's get back into this chat. Did you reach your funding goal with the Kickstarter and everything?
We did. Yep. We reached our fundraiser goal, and we also had we were able to run a couple big tournaments from the initial startup too, which we saw. Obviously, like we had said, when you play it, you obviously are a little bit more apt to purchase a game that you have played rather than just kind of seeing a video of it. So we had great response from our first couple of tournaments, and the best thing about the game was it's small enough where we could play it like in breweries. So breweries are a big hit in Maine.
Yeah.
There are tons of them, and they were willing to hold them there, and so that kind of was a big jump start for us. But again, once COVID came around and things were shut down and people couldn't get together anymore, put a big halt on everything. But we're excited for what's to come for sure. And we think we still have something great here. It's just being able to spread the word and get it in front of people and play it. That's the biggest thing. We just want to be able to play.
Just one more thing about the Kickstarter. Going into like your initial campaign, did you already have like a ton of people that were ready to back you, or did you have to do a ton of marketing?
So we did a good amount of marketing prior. We knew that our biggest resource at the time was going to be friends and family that had played, and we had a couple people interested in helping out funding wise, but we also had numerous people that were just willing to volunteer to push it, whether it be on their social media or bring it to a family gathering, or, hey, I work at a brewery and I can hold the game here for you. So we had a lot of support initially to spread the word. And it was more home type of atmosphere where we were able to spread it more in Maine, where we're from, because we have more friends and family here.
Yeah.
But besides that, we did have a pretty good sized pre-order list prior to that first initial order. But again, it was more friends and family to kind of spread the word that way and hopefully reach their friends and their families and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I hear you, because I finished my Kickstarter back in the springtime, and it was a good little learning process. But definitely had to rely on a lot of friends and family, and the marketing worked well with getting it out there, but I don't think a lot of people picked it up right away just from the marketing. So that's what I was asking.
Yeah, definitely. Social media is obviously, in the world we live in now, is a big help for a lot of smaller businesses. But I think at the end of the day, friends and family is
Yeah.
kind of your biggest resource when you're initially starting something like this. So
No,
that's what we've been kind of relying on, and just hoping and praying one of those we
yeah.
get to spread the word, and
I hear you,
maybe it
man.
gets a little
Well,
bit bigger than
that's why you're
they.
here. I hope I can help you spread the word too, because I am excited about this game because I do like tabletop games. There have been some good ones coming out lately, and like seeing yours, I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah,
Um, s-
yeah, and we appreciate, like I had said, having us on, and being able to talk about the game and spread the word. And I love what you're doing for yard games in general, and
Thank you,
it's a,
thank
it's
you.
a great thing. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So next question, going back, what was the most difficult part you would say with setting up like your supply chain and distribution? I mean, now that it's just you guys, is there anything that's like most challenging for you?
Yeah, I think that the most challenging thing for us at this point is just time, just being able to have the time to put everything together for us. We have the boards kind of ready to go, but putting the vinyl on, making the nets, putting the nets on, packaging, shipping it
Yeah.
all out, doing that everything on our own has definitely been a learning curve to be able to figure out what the best processes are moving forward with how to do it in a quick manner, so that we're not wasting a ton of labor on it.
I hear
But
you.
we love staying busy. We just want to be able to do stuff together as a family, and stuff like that, just hobbies like that, and it kind of makes for those times together, just good
Yeah.
memories, really. So
That's good. And yeah, I want to set now so I know that it's handmade versus when you blow up and get it
yeah,
all
exactly,
pre-ordered and everything. Like,
for
I got
sure.
the original handmade set. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Um, so when you first introduce it to people, what are their like, what's the most common misconception that they think about it before they play the game?
Yeah, so there's usually two that usually come up all the time. The first one is, do I have to bounce it? Because it does
Oh
involve quarters,
yeah.
and a lot of games originated from just quarters is bouncing. You bounce the quarter into whatever you're playing type deal, and you don't necessarily have to bounce it. Most of the time, we play on a plastic table and it doesn't bounce very well, but you can bounce it if you want to. There's no rules as to how you can throw it. So a lot of people throw it just basically underhand, like you'd be throwing a cornhole bag. Some
Yeah.
people throw it overhand, like you'd be throwing a pong ball. And then some people would try to bounce it when we initially started. So that's the biggest thing, is they ask, do I have to bounce the quarter, or how does it work as far as throwing it? And then the other thing is the name of the game is so close to like a quarterback, like in football,
Yeah.
that they that they think that the game is related to football somehow. So those are the two biggest ones that we usually get: is, do I need to bounce, and is it related to football in any way? So
Oh yeah, when I was making your folder, I was like, "Is it quarterback? Hold on, which?" I had to like look at
yeah.
it again. I was like, "Got this confused already."
No, yeah, most people, when they even say the game, they usually just say, they're so used to saying quarterback because it's just natural,
Yeah.
especially if you're a football fan.
Uh,
And to add an S onto it, some people are like, oh, let's play quarterback. And I'm like, it's quarters with an S, with
yeah.
an S. So that is, yeah, that's been the biggest misconception, I think, is
Okay.
name.
Yeah, every game has one.
Oh,
Oh
absolutely.
my god. Oh well, that's good, man. I feel like I got a good rundown of the game and everything. Let's get into some random questions to get to know you a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right. So, first question: if you're having a party, what's your go-to dish to make?
I'd have to say buffalo chicken dip. It's definitely my go-to
Oh,
dish. Yeah, yeah,
nice.
I'm a big fan, and I try to up my game every time I make it to add a little spice. I think the last time I added a little bacon into it, which
Okay.
I highly recommend.
Nice. Spicy buffalo chicken dip. I anything spicy, I'm all in. So that sounds good. All right. Question number 2. What's your favorite backyard game to play besides your game?
Besides my game, I'd say probably cornhole. We've always been a big fan of cornhole. I think that's usually the go-to if I don't have my game going.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Everybody loves playing some cornhole. It's still funny how like some people, because I run like bocce ball leagues, and I'm still like out
Yeah.
at bars and breweries, and they still have their cornhole boards, and people still come up to me. They're like, because we have cornhole boards just like right by the courts and everything. They're like, "What is this game? Like, how do you play cornhole? Like, how does this work?" I'm like, "You guys have not been around. Like, you don't know how to play this game? Come on now."
Feel like it's so popular.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to play cornhole.
I expect to hear that about bocce ball, but cornhole, come
Yeah.
on now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, maybe we're just too close to it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, question number 3. Name a hobby you no longer do anymore.
I'd say so we usually do a lot of woodworking. We used to create a lot of crafts, chairs, tables, anything my wife could find on Pinterest. She would say, "Here, can you make this?" And we used to do that a lot. And then now that the price of lumber is just so expensive and the time for everything, we really just haven't had a lot of time to do any of it. But that was definitely our biggest hobby that we don't do as much anymore, besides making our own game.
Nice. Yeah, woodworking it's a good skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's nice until the wife wants you to make everything in the house.
That's true too.
Yeah. And then I have to try to learn how to do stuff on
You're
YouTube
like,
because I'm not that talented.
I'll do it next week. I don't have that tool or something.
Yeah. Let me wait for the YouTube video
Yeah.
to tell me how to do this. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Question number 4. What's the most interesting place you've traveled?
Interesting place. Probably Hawaii.
Ooh. Which island?
Yeah. So, the Big Island,
Okay.
Honolulu.
Nice.
Yeah, we're actually heading out that way in September. My wife's brother lives out there, and he's getting married, so we're gonna head back out there. And
Nice.
we went there probably 6 years ago or so, and that's where we got engaged. Actually, it was in Hawaii, so right on
Nice.
top of a little mountain there. So I'd say that's probably the most interesting place that we've traveled to, and I'm excited to go back.
Very cool. Yes, I've only been to Maui, and
Yep.
I love that place. And yeah, you're gonna have to look up Yard Games Hawaii. Get in touch with him.
Oh, I'll have to do that.
Yes, good guy. He'll definitely probably want to get your game in there because he has a whole rental business and everything going on. So,
Oh,
yes.
beautiful. I will definitely connect with him.
All right. Last one. What's the most influential book you've read?
Let's see. That's a good question. To be honest, I don't know if I've
I
had
could have listened to
time.
the book too. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I've had the enough time to read a book cover to cover recently, unless it's a kid's book with the little
Oh
one.
gosh, I hear you.
Yeah.
What's anything old you've read? Something that's kind of stuck with you over the years?
There was I do a little bit on the financial world, and there was a book, I believe it was called How Money Works.
Okay.
That I remember kind of going through here and there to kind of learn more about the financial world, because trying to run your own business, you kind of got to know a little bit about finances and stuff. So
Yes.
I do remember someone actually gave me that book and said, "You need to read this cover to cover because it will help." So I'd say that one.
Okay.
Besides Brown Bear, but
Nice. All good answers, man. I like that.
thank you.
All right. I just have a few more questions for you.
Sure.
All right. So, looking back from when you first started your business to now, what do you think was like your best like resource or tool or something that you found that helped you out the best when starting your business?
Sure. Besides friends and family, like I kind of stated
Yeah.
earlier, I'd say social media, really. Being able to nowadays show something on social media to kind of get that excitement from people. And normally you get more excitement from friends and family to start. But being able to push it out on there kind of at least brought the idea up to people so that when I did see them in person, they kind of knew what was going on already in my life. And that's, I mean, social media has its pros and cons for sure. And I think one of them is to help small businesses that are looking to kind of spread the word. So I think that's probably the biggest resource initially that helped us kind of launch.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, yeah, there's so many different apps and platforms that somebody can be on. It's you can just find your niche in one platform and reach your target audience, but you can go to different ones. Yeah, when I started my business, I just literally just started posting a ton on Instagram for the bocce ball before I even started doing the podcasting and everything. And just from that, everybody figured it out. They're like, "Oh, you're running a league? I'll join." And that was the end of that.
It's definitely right now the easiest, the way the world is in technology. It's the easiest way to get stuff out there for sure.
Yes, it's still working these days.
Yeah.
So what are you currently excited about for the business? Do you have anything coming up?
So we're in the process of hopefully trying to get some more tournaments going here, at least locally. And then we're also in the works of partnering with a couple of some other big social media platforms on Instagram. I think one of them was actually on the podcast, the Yard Games World.
Yes.
Shout out to them. They got a book that just came out.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some partnering with them and a couple of other similar type social media platforms, and hopefully spread the word a little bit more. So
nice.
We're excited.
That sounds good. Yeah. Like I said, I welcome and I'm happy to spread the word for you. I am officially going to be setting up my Yard Games League starting for next year. I started one beforehand, but COVID stopped everything dead in the middle of it. So yeah, your game would be great to add to the mix to everything.
Appreciate that. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. So last question, as a yard game entrepreneur, what is your mantra or quote or inspiration that gets you up and gets you ready to sell quartersback every single day?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for us with the game and just in life in general is you're never out of it, or to never give up. That's kind of one thing we've always lived by. I played sports in college, and I'm a very competitive person, so we've always played different types of games. In this game, you're never out of it. So even if you're down by a lot, it only takes one throw to win the game. If you hit that center hole, then you win. So at any point, we just tell people, look, don't give up. Don't give up. You're never out of it. You might not be doing very well. And we've had people come up to the game who say, I don't think I can play. And then their first throw has gone right in the middle. So it's just, it doesn't matter your age. We've had kids that are 5 play and make it in the center hole. And we've had people that are in their 80s that have played. So there's just a wide variety that you can really include everyone. So I think that's the biggest thing for us is just never give up. You're always in the game.
I love that. A quote to live by and a quote to play the game by. That's
exactly.
I think that's a first. That's awesome.
Hey, look.
Oh man, this has been great. I am glad we got to get this chat in, and I am really excited about this game because I haven't really seen a lot of games like it, like just in the sense of how it's mixed together. And I really think that a lot of people will love playing this game.
Yes, we totally agree. And again, I just want to thank you for taking the time to have us on the podcast. And we appreciate you spreading the word because we're excited for it.
Of course, man. Well, that's all I got for you. And I'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
All right, later.
Okay. Have a good night.
That was Tom, creator of the game Quartersback. Like he said, it's a mix of cornhole, quarters, dice, instant win slot, just like in Can Jam. He put all the games together for a fun tabletop game that you could even have up to 6 to 10 people playing on a team. What? Mind blown. Oh my gosh. Check it out. Links are in the show notes. Support him. Grab yourself a set. I feel like this is a must-have at a family picnic, barbecue, tailgating. This is a party game. So, Quartersback. Love it. Check out their Instagram. Tag yourself once you buy a set. And I have a lot more games coming up for you guys. Literally, the list is long. I'm trying to get to everybody. And like I said, if you guys know of anybody creating a game, hit me up on Instagram. Tweet at me. Get at me on Facebook. You guys know where to find me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.